I would say like tapping into God, you know yourself more, so you can do the things that you would think would be crazy, and you feel comfortable to do them, and people might be inspired.
Yeah, so it kind of empowers you a little
Yes,
bit. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so you're using spirituality to really like empower yourself and empower your own art, empower your creativity to get to the next
So
level.
you think that's what kept you doing
Yeah,
it
that was
for
the
all
trick.
these years?
Yeah, that was the trick, because I ain't shit, really. I think that it's just like God is infused in me, you know, and it literally comes out like that.
That's powerful, man.
Like I literally,
It is, yeah.
and I.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dump Truck Fiesta. This is, of course, Noise of the Broke Boys podcast, your number one source of brain-rotting audio. I am your host, Kurt the Hurt, with my man, Bboy Livick. Today's guest is a legend in the breaking world, winner of countless battles and titles, a literal blow-up artist, the king of dropping wrist bombs, Bboy Vietnam. What's up, man?
What's up, y'all?
Yo.
What's up?
How you doing?
What up, Livick?
What's up, brother?
All right.
Yo, I'm glad that you're here, man. This is like super hype for me because you're like one of my biggest inspirations, and I think probably a lot of people's biggest inspirations.
Thank you.
I mean, you come from an era that was just like so different than what the breaking world is now, and you helped kind of mold it to where it is, whether you know that or not.
Thank you.
And so like I wanna talk to you about like what really got you into this hip hop world, what got you into art, what got you into breaking, how did that journey really start for you?
What got me into it is it kind of was just something I picked up. You know, I was in the Philippines, and I started seeing Michael Jackson on TV. I started seeing Beat Street. You know what I mean? You know, Lost Style came out a little bit later, but you know, just seeing that and trying to be what was on TV, trying to be fresh as a kid, you know, and kind of like, you know, be something in our family, you know, because my family liked to perform a lot, you know what I mean? Like I'm half Filipino, so we were really into karaoke and so the family was always doing karaoke or some type of parties, you know what I'm saying? My dad's like, you know, from the Trinidad side, so, you know, he's into partying too and stuff.
Hell
you know?
yeah.
So we was, you know, so I was just doing that, and it carried on to when I came into the States. The kids in my grades were doing it too, you know. They were doing it, and we were battling because really, we were always just trying to be, you know, like up to date. You know what I mean? Like in America, you figured out that when you got to America, you always wanted to be up to date. You know what I mean? Like you wanted some cool things, some cool clothes, you know, and you wanted some attention, you know, some cool moves. So we were just trying to stand out, and naturally we took up breaking because it was one of the most, you know, coolest things on the playground at the time.
Yeah. And did you guys know like you were battling at that time? Like how young were you?
Oh yeah, we knew we were battling,
Okay.
but we it was like you want to take out everybody, you know, you want to serve everybody, and it's like doing it's being on a jungle gym trying to be the fastest, or trying to be the best long jumper in track, you know, whatever. You're always trying to be the best, you know. So
you've always been a pretty competitive person.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody from my town was super competitive.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could tell just based on like your battle history. It's like I like to say that whenever something was popping off in a battle, here comes Vietnam doing a gainer to just blow the spot up. And it's
Exactly.
Right. Battling for respect, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you would just blow up the spot. I mean, that's what I was saying. You're a blow up artist because you would just show up at the perfect time to just set the mood off. You know what I mean?
I always have friends too that always be like, "You ain't down," or
You ain't down.
or "You won't do that," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I will." so that kind of just was the bomb dropping. You know what I mean?
Is that how you invented your wrist move?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like in a way, like I had to come up on the spot with something, you know.
Okay.
At a time, so you know what I mean. It was just kind of like, okay, shit, I'm gonna pull this out. But you know, the wrist move in general, you know, pretty much has been done before. Since like back in the day. I mean, even in the crane styles, you know, like if you see in karate and stuff, we get from that. We pull from martial arts. So you know, that is a drunken style. It's a crane style. It's fresh, you know, and in martial arts, they already were fresh. Like that's why I like that hip hop pulls so much from martial arts. You see with Wu-Tang, or even the guys before Wu-Tang, you know, they were buying karate flicks. You know, that was a cool thing. So just being into hip hop, we always are trying to be up to date. If you couldn't get your clothes at Macy's, you was maybe gonna go get it at the flea market or swap meet or something. As long as the colors were right, then that's all you could afford. You still get props where you're from, where we're from, where our culture, So literally, that's all we're trying to do is like trying to have the coolest things for ourselves, and at the same time, like not pay too much, you know what I mean, and have some flavor with it, have some style with it, and like I don't want what Kurt has, but I might want the different color. You know what I'm saying? Or Livic, I might like the hat, but I want to get a different color because you don't want to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not Sadie Hawkins Day. You know what I mean? We're trying to more just like individualize ourselves within the freshness of how we all agree. Because we can all kind of agree, we kind of like the same beats and stuff. And you know what I mean? That's what makes us hip hop.
Can you go more into that, like saying the creative side, like, oh, I'm going to do it with my wrist, or I want to expand it to something different, innovate it?
Because things, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like everything has been done, everything is through God and everything comes out as a creation or evolution through us people. So we literally are catching on to greatness, you know what I mean? But sometimes there's always better ways to do something, you know what I mean? Like I remember like people used to trip out on, I think they call them a mentally challenged people, on how some of the technology they would have would just be so simple, right? But now everybody's like using simple stuff, you know what I mean? We got our phone and it has everything on it. We're borderline mentally challenged now, if you want to compare the 80s of just how people, the technology we have. So
yeah, we're very reliant on it.
Yes.
And it became the cool thing. So adaptability is a good thing. And maybe we need to lower the standard of what is mentally challenged, what is mentally anything, or what is even not mentally challenged, or what is good mental health. You understand what I mean? So we kind of have to adjust those levels. I know us as artists, we probably always deal with some of us artists are mentally challenged or crazy, or super intelligent or too intelligent. So but to me it's I've always had a different gauge on it, and I probably am dealing with people that maybe wouldn't be fit for society all the time, but to me, they're my friends, perfect, Yeah,
so I want to say it's like a product of like thinking out of the box, maybe not like mentally challenged, but it's just everybody's used to thinking this way, and then the artist usually goes, well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do it over there. I'm going to be outside of this box, and then everyone's like, what the heck is that?
Right. We're almost prided on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good thing, because you wouldn't have this insane technology without a creative mind to just say, hey, what'd be crazy is if we put a computer on your phone, and now everybody has one of those in their pocket. But
right.
I mean, 10 years ago or whatever, 15 years ago, that didn't exist.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah, I mean, like, it didn't exist, right? I mean, there was, the freaking sidekick or whatever.
The sidekick.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. And, man, yeah, I mean, someone had to think about doing that. Yeah. And that was a wild concept at that point.
And it had to be brave, right?
The internet is a wild concept. You know what I mean? Like, before that, what the hell? It's like, let's put...
How did you kind of come up with, like, saying, I want to know more your creative side? Like, how did you adapt to, like, changing your way of thinking? Because you're very creative and you innovated a lot of stuff.
Right. I like that question because it's right on key of what I'm about, and it's like I evolved to literally survive. You know what I mean? I literally, like, if I'm in a different environment, I'm trying to survive it. When I was young, I had to be around tough people, so I had to fight. You understand what I mean? And then when I got into to the B-boy world, I had to battle, and then when I got into the acting world, I had to act good, and I had to be nice, and I had to, and then when I got super spiritual, I had to learn God, and I had to go all in and out, and all these things are for my survival. Like I know it's not one without the other, and as I was younger, I used to feel a lack, and I used to feel like there was so many things in my life that I didn't know or didn't have. So I was always trying to quest for those things to literally have them and feel more secure, like all things are through God. So I feel more secure these days. You understand what I mean? But at the time, not knowing that there's a way to do it was what was making me scramble for everything. You know what I mean? I was literally on like fight or flight because, yes, I had heard about doing things a certain way, but I never really wanted to listen to anybody. Maybe kind of being like hard headed or just trying to, like I'm seeing it like this example, right? Hip hop stars or people that's standing out in the hood, and I wanted to be like that. And I seen these other examples, but they didn't really stand out to me as much. They kind of were more like. So I'm kind of happy now that like who I look up to is cool, and it's appropriate for my age, being 40, and being. But I think at the time that was important for me to grow in my society, because where I grew up, like when I moved from the Philippines, it was basically like a New York City, but of California. We had graffiti everywhere. Like it was broken down buildings. It was trash everywhere. Like this is a city, Winton. Wow. And I think Johnny Carson used to talk about it, that it was the most murderous and crime per capita in the United States. It's not big, but there's so many murders and things that was happening right then. So I'm growing up in that, but not even knowing that that's bad. Just like living in it, but not knowing that this is bad. So when I actually got around nicer people, I was like, whoa, they kind of seem soft to me, kind of seem like, damn, like, you guys don't do this, or you guys don't, like, so.
Give you a different perception of it.
Right, but in a way it was cool too, because I was like, damn, these people are getting along with not having to do this crazy shit. I'm kind of tired of doing this crazy shit, having to be down and trying to be,
Yeah.
So, and I kind of like not being in fight or flight all the time, I like not having to be nervous, so. But a lot of that for me comes in the comfortability of stability and in doing the right thing, because you can tell yourself you're doing the right thing, right? But it's a feeling. When when you got it, when you got enough bread in your pocket, when God's with you, when your ideas are gonna go a certain way, when you did your schooling, when you have friends, and that was not apparent to me when I was young before. It was just I was getting tricked through the images on our entertainment media, what was cool, and I was learning some really good things too.
Yeah. And did you have like some sort of sixth sense to know that was not the direction you need to go and you need to change yourself?
Yes and no, because it was almost like as if
you were leaving the moment, kind of.
Yeah, and also too, the sixth sense didn't come until reason came, which was maybe about like 24 or 25.
Yeah, okay.
Because I kept getting repeated to people. People would tell me, older people, like, it's not about this, it's about God. Or yes, this is cool and everything, but it's about God. So I just kept hearing that, and I'm thinking, dang, why do they keep saying that, And then I just I started to have things happen to me, like my blessings were getting taken away. I was getting really sick, and I started to know I had to go back to God, and I realized that, okay, this is how I got here, by being through God. Because a lot of the times when you guys see me at my heights or winning and stuff, I always was praying to God, and I was always like, I wouldn't tell anybody because it kind of would seem like, this guy's corny back then, But literally that's what I was doing, I was saying my prayers. I didn't know how to say them. You don't really need to say them a certain way.
Yeah.
You say them from your heart, but I was super blessed already, coming from that the Catholic environment and not using that. So I wasn't in my full power, and I'm explaining that in a way that, since I come from the Catholic environment, right? A lot of Filipinos are Catholic. If I practice in a Catholic way, I'm going to get a lot of power. You understand what I mean? If I practice a Buddhist way, I might get less power, because that's not how it began. If that's how I am, and I know that I am that, maybe a Buddhist will be more comfortable. I think it's more, you got to do what's comfortable with you and what's sensible. Don't lie to yourself, and just do, something else. Like be true to yourself and figure it out. Like I had to figure it out, and I love all the religions and all the practices, and I'm one of the people who gets along with all, and I don't judge. I think that it's amazing how people find their power, and even if you're a devil worshiper or atheist, I'm not gonna diss you. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't do some of those ways. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I understand that people like to feel comfortable, and they just being uncomfortable for a long time. It's great, to feel comfortable and to be around good people.
Yeah, spirituality really fascinates me, because I think I want to say exists in everybody, and even people who are atheists and whatever, or they don't recognize that it's there, because there is like this internal energy or internal like, where does your reason come from, really? And it's like, you know, someone would say, hey, it's just in my brain, but like, how did it get there?
That's what I mean. I think that's what's God.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is I think a lot of people get hung up on like, oh, God is this magical thing that's in the universe or something, but it's like, it doesn't have to be that. Really, by definition, God is something you cannot comprehend. Right. It's not this being that you can just go shake their hand and say, hey, what's up? It's like literally something you cannot comprehend.
Like energy.
And so like, I grew up Catholic, but I'll say I'm not really like a deep Catholic or anything.
Right.
But I wouldn't say I'm atheist either. But because I believe that there's this force out there we don't understand. I mean, like, where does consciousness come from? Where does all these other things, I mean, you dive deep into science and you're like, where does some of this stuff come from? And it's like, there is this deep beauty in like mathematics. You know, it works like,
you need science and religion.
And science, like, it all ties together.
Exactly.
And what is that? What I would say is, whatever that is, that's God right there. You know what I mean? And because all that stuff somehow ties together, we cannot comprehend it, but that's it. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a great perspective, because yeah, you're right. It's all these things tied under God, and that's what makes it okay. It's almost like if you look at it that approach way, that's the sensible approach where the book will make sense. If you do it a different way, that's cool too, but you might get mixed up. But like you were saying, we have all these beautiful knowledges on this earth, you know, all these interesting facts that come together and stuff. Why fight with them? Why not just combine them and say, all right,
learn from it.
And learn from it.
You know, actually, here's another thing, is I know a lot of people that are atheists, and they'll read the Bible, or they'll look at the Bible and go like, ah, man, that's just some craziness. And I go, but honestly, even if it's all fake, these stories are interesting, and you can learn from them the same way you can learn from a movie, the same way you can learn from something else. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is something like Jesus, for instance. He's this tremendous figure, and whether he existed or not, you can learn so much stuff from him, man. It's like, I feel like everybody should look up to him, because it's like the things that he did is just an amazing thing. You know what I mean? And he's a figure that you should strive to be.
Exactly.
You know
what were you
I
gonna
mean?
say, Livik?
No. I was just gonna input the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, so Jesus is an amazing guy, right? And science kind of validates why God is real, right? But like, this is how Jesus looks. Really, this is the shroud.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
So we got these artifacts that already show that a man named Jesus was buried, right? And that's all the Catholic system is saying, is that, yeah, you know, like, there's God, and then there's the Son of God, that's Jesus, and, you know, Virgin Mary's the mother, you know what I mean? But these people actually lived. They actually made imprints into cloths. They actually had a house, and they actually, so, you know, some people can say that they're normal people, but why not think of it like this? This is how I think of it. It's like, there's God, right? And I think that human beings, we don't know everything, so he kind of has to keep reminding us with these examples. You know, like, Jesus was one of them. You know, then there's Mary too. Like, Mary keeps popping up like every 50 years. She's Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico. She's Virgin Mary over in Rome. In Portugal, she's not Fatima, but you know, they all have different Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal. So literally, we as humans, we've got to get it together, because we're not listening to what's right. We're fighting amongst it's this or it's this or it's this. It's probably like just the general consensus of all those things. But when you're fighting about it, that's not gonna help it. Yeah. You know, it's more like you know, you gotta let some people do it like this and let people do it like this, and then you know, like how America, we have a lot of people that are all different races, and we have these amazing creations we make. It's the same thing in the world, like, but people fight like for the power of that creation. Why not just give the power up? Yeah. That's all God is saying, is like, give me the power. I'm gonna make all these people to help you, and me too. Like, I'm helping you, but I'm way up here, so I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? I got all these people to help you. Give me your prayers and be humble. Like, come at situations, like, it could even be murder. Someone doesn't like you and you really feel like killing this person. You can pray and literally you'll feel better. Like literally that is reserved for you. It's not corny. Like it works.
And you know what I think that is it's tapping into love.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's what a lot of these religions point to is love is really the answer to all of it.
Right.
And if you approach your life with that, you can achieve great things.
Right.
And you're living for more than just yourself.
It's love and a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because remember how we're talking about these concepts, right? God made the concepts. So what God is saying is be like me, and you'll do all the concepts.
Mm-hmm.
You'll do love.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I think you need evil to balance things out. Because
definitely.
you need the reflection of it.
You wouldn't recognize love without evil.
But
Exactly.
you should act out
But
in a good way. And if it's evil to the person, maybe that's what God needed it to look like.
Exactly.
Well, you want to fight evil, but with love.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I think a lot of people want to fight it with evil.
Sometimes a punch in the face, though, is just like, you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
kind of balances it. So, but that's the thing.
Yo.
God makes that. Okay, like
Exactly.
I'm gonna explain the situation. I walk down the street. I have a bad attitude and a bad something in my mind. Of course, I'm gonna find people that are gonna fight me. That's just the way it's made.
It
you know
is,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
I think whatever you drive in your mind, like saying you think about energy, about bad's gonna come to you. It really does.
Yeah.
And whatever you project to the world, it's gonna project it back. It really is that.
And that's why I say God. Everyone says God is good because if you're thinking good thoughts, you're gonna be close to God, right? God's not saying you're me. He's saying you're kind of like a part of me. Like I'm the big loaf of bread, and I'm gonna make these little breads, and you're that too, and you're kind of my consistency, but you're a little bread, you know? Mm-hmm. We want to be the big bread sometimes. That's the problem. It's like when you're the big bread and you believe in I am or I'm this. Okay, you're this, but when you're on your deathbed, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it really, there's
yeah.
nothing you can do. There's nothing you can summon up. There's no satanical prayer you can say that's going to save you. So, and yes, Christians do die. And yes, people of God do die. We all die. But it's softer. And what I'm saying is find your power in yourself and you will get to that point. You don't have to be what I am or what you are, but you will find it. And the way you find it is you kind of are a combination of the things.
Yeah.
And you know what I think people lack? I think they lack practices. I don't think they practice enough. And the more you practice, the more it becomes easier.
Absolutely.
To you. And I think that's what people think, that if you do good things, you're gonna get good things. No, you have to practice it and then project that and manifest it.
And do that in the face of evil. Like when something is there and it's like in your face, going like you want to punch it.
Yeah.
But
How are you going to punch it?
how do you punch it?
Yes.
Like what's the stronger thing to do? And it's like, again, I'd say like approach it with love, approach it with humility.
Yes.
Because that's how you change minds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
So
would you approach that too with breaking too, like practicing? What was your like?
Before. Now I approach things way more with prayer and prayers for other people, like that they don't know about, right? Because I've heard now that that's the best thing you can do for somebody. It sounds corny, right? I'm praying for you, but there's some things in the hidden that it's like they might feel peace. Sometimes that's all you can want in life.
I think a lot of it is like aligning your mental to a specific act, right? And then when that's what your focus is, like things will line up for you to happen. And I don't know if that's magic or what, or maybe it's just pure free will of you saying I'm gonna do this, and then it's just like I know how to make this happen and shit happens. But it's like there's something spiritually powerful about that. You know what I mean?
I think it's the way. So we're tapping into. It's like, okay, if you're rolling dice and you always know how to roll sevens, right? It's like when you tap into to God, you're always rolling sevens because you found out that way, right? And people stray from that because there's all these ways that look nice too. They look cute, you know? It's like, oh, I can just go be a gambler, or I can just go like, you know, have a bunch of hoes and shit, and that's gonna be. But that's not.
Let's go.
At the end of the day, that's gonna hurt you because
Yeah.
it's all about like being good. And you can be doing something or you can be doing good. It's better to do the good because that feels better, and it's everybody's not gonna like it, but you want to like it. You want to feel it, you know. Like this shirt, I like this shirt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna rock it. I'm not just doing it to you know what I'm saying? If I was to just be a person that always is doing what everybody else wants, I'm gonna go crazy. Like that's not it. But I would say like tapping into God, you know yourself more, so you can do the things that you would think would be crazy, and you feel comfortable to do them, and people might be inspired.
Yeah, so it kind of empowers you a little
Yes,
bit. Yeah, that's
you.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so you're using spirituality to really like empower yourself and empower your own art, empower your creativity to get to the next
So
level.
you think that's what kept you doing
Yeah,
it
that's
for
the
all
trick.
these years?
Yeah, that was the trick, because I ain't shit, really. I think that it's just like God is infused in me, you know, and it literally comes out like that.
That's powerful, man.
Like I literally,
yeah.
And I would give props to. I remember Skeeter Rabbit was like, he was like, dude, that's dope that you gave props to God in front of everybody so they could see. And I was like, yeah, because it's just the truth, you know. But he's like an OG, you know. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like damn. So that really told me that everybody in all walks of life really love the fact that people are into God. So I repped it more, you know. But I didn't rep it like corny, like, you know what I'm saying. But I just like, I did it in a B-boy way, you know, and but that's really like the trick.
And if you notice, every time, everybody knows who God is, even if they don't believe him.
Everybody.
That's the crazy part.
Because it's probably in our hearts, and it's something that we catch on to. But
DNA, man.
I think the game, yeah, it's in our DNA, but the game can't make it so easy. So we still got to have a trial and tribulation. So sometimes maybe you get knocked off because it's like, that's the way that we're made. We're not made like perfect, you know? Like, but I don't think you would want to be made perfect, because the game is not, it's fun anymore. It's like, okay, I'm just it's gonna work anyway. Even though it is gonna work, like all of us are gonna make it, right? All of you guys are gonna make it, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, don't trick yourself out of not making it and thinking you can't. Because we already know we're gonna be good, right? We're good people, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of the mental, is like, you're saying, I'm gonna make it, and again, like, that aligns your life to make the shit line up so that it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Well, people too most people that are into God, they live longer. It's like the scientific. They say it's like you live 10% longer, not 10 times longer, but maybe like 10 years longer. So, I mean, I want to do that. You know what I mean? And why is it like that? Why do people keep living longer when they're into God? I thought they were corny. No, they probably get better sleep. They probably rest more. And they probably are having a clear mind. They call Jesus the Prince of Peace, right? I never used to have peace before. So that's why I appreciate Jesus so much.
That's why I say he's such an important person, whether you are like religious or not. It's like, this is a person. Like, I mean, in the same way that you look up to Superman or something, it's like, that's a Superman.
That's
Superman.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the comic books of Batman, where he's in the face of like the most evil freaking Joker, like, and he goes, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm gonna take you to the authorities to put you in jail, and you're gonna see justice, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's amazing to see. And that's the same thing that I look at with Jesus. It's like, dude, that's why you look up to him.
Hey, that's real. He's so right though. Like, that is Jesus, super powerful. Like, okay.
This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by soap. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about soap that cleans your body and rejuvenates your life. Are you that guy or girl at the gym texting that guy or girl you met online instead of pumping fat iron? You know what will really make them hot and heavy for you when you meet them after the gym? Washing your body with soap. Are you that guy or girl at school listening to the show instead of paying attention to your chemistry class? I know what will help you gain some real chemistry with your significant other. Personal hygiene. Dancers, did you just finish rolling around on the floor to music? The same grimy floor that was used as a toilet for the homeless and small animals? You need soap, my friend. Maybe you like fancy soap that makes you smell like warm summer evening walks around the flower garden. Or maybe you enjoy the soap that makes you smell like a lumberjack that wrestles bears in pinewood cabins in the mountains. Whatever your style is, soap is there for you. Pick up some soap at your nearest store and get clean, my friends. And now, on to the show.
And he got soldiers too, right? Have you guys ever heard of Saint Michael the Archangel?
Yes.
Okay, that guy is amazing. Like, literally, if we were like had schizophrenia, right? Any of us, there's people that could see the angel world too. You know, angels and demons. They're not crazy. They just, like, you know what I mean. They're just in between, right? Literally, when you call Saint Michael as the archangel to defend us in battle, right? And you say the whole prayer, it's really short. Those demons get suppressed to where they can't, because most of the time they're like trying to attack you, or they're trying to like, they do the little things that make you mess up, you know, or that make you cuss at somebody or get an attitude. Because we think we're so in our faculties and we understand, no, we're getting attacked all the time.
Yeah.
You know, some people are different and they get attacked less or more, but it's just what it is. So you could say, no, I don't believe in that shit, but it's almost like saying you're running into a gunfight with no gun or a knife or something. It's you're not playing on the world of how it is. And you can say, I don't see that. It's there. You understand what I mean? I don't know how to tell you, but it's there. You know, you can Google all that stuff and find books, and these people are not lying to you that they see this stuff. They really see this stuff. So I'm not saying that one ghost is gonna make you turn into a murderer or anything like that. It takes us a lot of things to do that. Like you have to practice devil worshiping. You have to there's ways that you can get into that if you want, but there's also ways that you can get into this and go higher to where you will never want to do that stuff. Because okay, like me, I don't care about money, right? I always have money. I always had money forever, right? And I don't worry about it, because I know, like, God, he made the story where, you know, he fed with the fishes. That's all I need to know from that little story in the Bible. I know that I can feed all my friends. You understand what I mean? And we can all feed each other.
That's so powerful to, like, I mean, to know that you're gonna be okay in the face of, like, I don't know, danger or just adversity. Like adversity. It's like that mentality to know that you have the resources somewhere deep inside you to make it happen. And I mean, there's been so many times where, like, I don't know, I don't got money or whatever, you know, like my bank account has a negative number in it or whatever. And I'm just like there's a problem here. You know what I mean?
Crypto, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't move over that quick, though.
Yeah, but so it's like, but then you're like, but I've been here before. I know what to do. You know what I mean? And I'm going to get myself out of this hole. I'm not going to, like, lay here and cry about it and then just make things worse. I'm going to dig myself out, and I'm going to use the power of everything around me to make that happen. And I mean, that's so powerful.
But like someone like you, like you're, you know, you graduated school, you're smart, you're an engineer, right?
Yeah,
engineer. This guy, like, you know, he's obviously blessed. So you can tell, like, you see through the blessings of people and how good they are as a person, why they mess with God, you know? Not saying that you would have to. You can be an atheist and an engineer too. It's the same thing, but I see the blessings, you know? I come to your house, you're a good person. It's real positive here. If you were a Satanist, it'd probably feel different.
Yeah.
It'd probably look different.
Yeah.
You know, there might be, like,
the energy, the vibe.
And I think like when you say Satanist, it's kind of like, it's not just that you're worshiping some specific, like, evil book, but it's just that you let evil, like, into your being, and you don't let the love, like, guide you. You know what I mean? And so it's not like, it's not because when you say the words like Satan and God and stuff, everyone always thinks about, like, you know, specifically Christianity or whatever. But it's like I try to distinguish
it's
it.
energy.
It's just like
it's all that.
It's evil and love. Like really, that's what it is. And so, like, when you're Satan worshiping, it's more like you are just evil worshiping. You are letting the evil, like, tear you up and tear the rest of your people up. So
exactly, it's like the words are interchangeable. Like, he says energy and he says Satan, right? Same thing. It's like negative energy, positive. But God is someone who would have the good energy, the positivity. Like, he always is having a party, and it's always live with God. You know, like in heaven, it's popping.
The hypest music.
The hypest music, like these harps and stuff. It's like, like freestyle circles. The drums. Like, So if we want. But we can't have that here because there's always got to be something later, right? I don't know. I've never been there, but why do people have visions and prophecies that they can see that already? Like, they're not crazy. They literally are just trying to tell you the future. But God makes their life here a little bit hard, though. Like, when you got schizophrenia and your brain's working super fast, it's not the most ideal place to be here on earth, you know? And they need prayer more. But with prayer, you can withstand a lot of pain. You can... And, you know, I think that we all need help. So sometimes that's that invisible help that will probably never come from a human being. You know, like all of us, we've probably been rejected or neglected in some type of way, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that fills up your friends in the voids right there, you know? And I wouldn't want to have to rely on a person. I would want to rely on God better so that that goes within all the people. Because God literally rains his blessings on, like, I feel like blessing a person today. but really God made that happen. You understand? That person prayed, or I prayed, or whatever it is. So take care of your prayers and pray for whatever you want. I don't care how you have to pray, but just really ask for that, like, sincerely, and write it down if it works, because these are the type of things, these are the blow ups for the spiritual. This is how you blow it up spiritually. You know, it's not a move anymore. This is the spiritual move. The non blow ups, the weak shit, that's opening yourself up to the satanic devil practices that are gonna take you down. Even if you get to the highest levels and all the Satanists love you, they're gonna drop you down, because that's not, Satan will never be here for you. He will just be here to tease you. Look at all these stars that they were here 10 years ago. Now they're just like nowhere, you know? That's for a reason, because you can't keep it forever.
Evil easily can distract you. Yeah. I mean, then that's kind of the purpose of it, is to get you, stray you away from it. I mean, it's hard to do good, like, especially when in your heart, you know, this is the right thing to do, and everyone around you's like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like, but I know that this is the right move to do. And when everyone is saying, oh no, you're going to get in trouble for this or whatever, but this is the right thing to do, to stand up for, you know, something or whatever, you know.
That's in his heart too.
It's hard. It's hard. Feeling, man.
Yeah.
It's
hard
to
do that,
it really
you know.
is.
So
I'm just curious now. Like, we're talking about this. What's your input about, like, aliens? I don't know. It's just.
I think aliens. Okay, aliens.
I know we're coming at some other thing, but
this is Spinful Wars. Let's go.
But I love the way you're thinking. I'm just curious.
So the aliens. There's probably other books that are different than the Bible that will explain that, right? I think even God knows what the aliens are, but I think we're a civilization that is a human, right? We're a human being. Alien is another civilization that probably has a different God, or maybe it's under our God, but it's just like, you know, there's turtles and there's rabbits and there's humans and there's like, it's different, you know? So they're going to have some different rules, and we all have to play within the same system, like solar system, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of solar systems. I think all that is the heavens, right? That's all made from God. But I think that God probably doesn't want us to play like in that yard right now, you know, because why do we have so many? It's already interesting, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to do all that crazy shit. So all that crazy shit, that's just doing too much, and I think God's mad at that. Like, I can't prove that, but when people have prophecies, or whenever Virgin Mary comes, this is the type of stuff they be saying. These are messages from God, so they're literally saying science and all that is doing too much, you know. Basically, they won't say the terms of stop genetically cloning or nothing like that, but yeah, that's the point, is that we're just really doing too much.
Yeah, because they're even saying that, or if you, in the Bible, it says that Jesus didn't come from, it came from the heavens, like he wasn't human. I don't know if that's correct, or
I don't know.
You don't know, but okay.
So you would probably have to ask, you know, like a preacher for that. And then but regardless of where he came from, like, I know that he came from God. That's what I know. And I also know that God came and you know, had his angel go tell Mary, I'm gonna impregnate you and give you my son. So I mean, that's the story that I go by, you know. I can't prove that physically in a science book, but when I do go under that premise of, if you want to call it a story, it just simplifies my life in a way that other things can get easily done.
It relates.
I think that's kind of the thing that I really relate to, is like, you can use religion as a great tool to like make yourself a better person and achieve the things you really want to do. And it's because it frames your mind to work like towards good, towards love, like, you know what I mean? And that I think is really the answer. Like I said before, love is the answer. And so if you're framing your world around that, I feel like that's the point.
Yes, that's the point. Exactly. It's like totally that, what he said, like you want that, and you if someone expresses love a little bit different than you, learn that too.
Yeah, learn it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But don't do it if it's satanic. If it's like your guys' blessings are going down, don't do it. And literally, that's what you got preachers to tell you what to do. That's why you got, even if you go too far, you got exorcists that if you get a demon inside you, they'll literally take that away from you, right? Sometimes we go too far in our learning, and we you know what I mean? And we have to come back sometimes. So, but something with God, whatever God you go with is always get you back to neutral, and you got to start from there. You can't just like fall down the hill and then just like think you're gonna just like come back up again. No, you got to come back up again and then start. Like if you're starting from negative, you need to ground yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about concepts. If I was just into grounding, right, sticking my feet in the ground and grounding, I'm only into energy. That's not enough concepts for me on this earth to reign in this earth how I want to. It's only one concept. So if we were just into science, we're lacking. If we're just into God, we're gonna have a lot. But like now, we're into God, but you have to free your mind and say, this person's okay. It's love. I still love this person. Different religion, different idea, but I still love, because that's really the key. God's not gonna be like, just do it only this way and not selectively let these people all get together. That's why the covenant was changed. Jewish, when it was under Jew, we used to have an old covenant, right? And they used to sacrifice things, and that used to work for God. Like you could sacrifice and God would be happy at that time. Like I wasn't there, but that's what they say. But then when they changed the covenant to a new one, God was like, okay, see all this shit. I'm actually going to send my son to die real quick. And it's going to be a magical story. And look, everyone's seen him on the cross, right? Now, you guys, you see that example? Look what I did. You guys aren't going to send your sons to get killed. It hurts. I did that for you. So at least just believe that, so that I can clear your consciousness. And how do we clear consciousness? You do things like, does anyone know what repenting is? You're to repent. Yes. So that's a scary thing, because you got to go into the church and tell the preacher who's behind the box things that you did that you don't want people to know.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to face your inner demons with that. Exactly. It's like you're going, I did this stuff and I'm not proud of it, and I want
that's how you grow as a person.
I mean, that's just important to do, whether you're religious or not. Exactly. I mean, and I think that's like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you're not doing that, because everybody does some bad stuff once in their life, and so like you really got to live up to it, right? And and again, like repent for it. I mean, I would say you don't even need to go to a church for it. You need to recognize that you did this stuff and change for the better.
Yes,
and that's the perspective of it. You know what I mean?
So I like that Kurt too. See how we have a different perspective, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's like some people that's old school might go to a church and do it. Some people might do it like this, but I think in your heart, you got to know that you're really sorry. I think that's the main thing.
It's the honesty.
Yes.
It's the humility. Yeah. And
if you're honest with yourself, you could be honest with others, man.
Right.
For sure.
And what's crazy is those people that you wronged or whatever with your attitude, they will come back the next day like as if nothing happened. It's like, what? Like, how did my prayer make everything okay? And now everything's okay, but you can't do that by just screaming at this person or we want to knock out the sickness. You know what I'm saying? Like it's COVID. Yeah. We want to do the right thing. So I'm trying to share what helps with with that. But I'm sure that there's other things that you learn later on down the road. But we don't want to do anything that doesn't benefit us.
I mean, it's again, like I think it's because you aligned yourself with love and like that's gonna drive you to like salvation, really.
See, and I like how he said love, because love is a concept in but it's not really, it's written about in the Bible, but it wasn't the stamp as far as but the closest thing is this, how Jesus was like, love people even if they're of a different religion. I don't know what the exact term is, but that needed to be said, because people are going to take the religion of Catholicism or Christianity like selfish. They're going to be like, well, all other religions, fuck all you guys. Yeah. You guys ain't this because we're the only thing. Now we're being too proud.
Well, yeah, and you're jumping into like a tribe and saying like, this is us and you guys aren't allowed. But that's like, I guarantee if Jesus was standing in front of you, he would say, do not do that.
Exactly.
Like, I'm here to like bring in everybody because I want everyone to, enjoy the salvation of all of this stuff. And that's, I mean, just like whether you believe in anything or not, like that's what you should believe in, is that if you work together and you're working towards love, like,
right,
like you're going to get to salvation.
To touch on that, look how God keeps appearing, right? God, he has Virgin Mary, right? You know, Jesus's mom. Virgin Mary has appeared in Mexico and looks like, see how she's brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's brown, and she doesn't look like the white one, right?
I mean, she would have been Middle Eastern, because
Exactly.
Jerusalem, I think.
But this one is what I'm saying is she's popping up like Mexico because for Mexicans, you know.
Yeah,
she's like, I gotta look like y'all, so yeah. And then maybe in Africa she's gonna be black, you know. It just kind of like they know, because God knows, like God is an artist, so God is like, I'm gonna do this like special story, like so you guys can know, like look, I'm even gonna look like you. I'm not gonna just like be white and you guys are all brown and just listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be brown. So that's dope. Like that's amazing already. Like that.
And even if you look into melanin, I don't know if you've read a book about it. That's like the most, even our skin, like we're the lighter we are, is true. We're more defect, and the more you're brown, you have a stronger skin. You have more melanin. It's science.
But I understand that. But regardless, I'm talking more like as far as God accepts all of us. If you're light skinned, like you're hella light skinned, you know, you're almost lighter than white people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're light, bro.
I'm actually a white person, so
right. He's like European, you know. So, but God loves us all. So He's like saying, like I'm gonna show up like this because I just have to. Like it's something cool about like you know that your God is looks like you. Like you're Japanese, right? Vietnamese. Okay. Well, in Japan, Lady Akita is Virgin Mary, but she's totally like Japanese, you know. So how does that happen? Like how do you just change your face? Because it's like graffiti, you know. And God's got all the graffiti. God's got all the ill shit to teach us. And literally, we're literally practicing to try to see all that. Like Kurt was saying, how people don't have the they only look up to these heroes, but what about these heroes? Yeah, these there's other heroes that we gotta Google that really will make you feel powerful too. They'll make you feel just like Bboy Ivan, or Bboy K-Mel, or your favorite B-boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are really the ones that's gonna give you blessings. So looking up to this is more important than looking up to Bboy K-Mel.
Dope, man. That was such an interesting conversation, and I want to continue it, but there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about. But like going
Thank
into
you for that, man.
Yeah, no, that was really dope, dude. But like going into like influences, obviously like God, Jesus, those are big influences in you. But what other influences have you gained from to help with your artwork?
Well, first it was, like I told you, it was the films and stuff, and it all just looked like colorful. And pretty much it's every hero that I've seen that was cool in my life. Sometimes they would be sports heroes. Like my friend Anthony Leggett was really fast and really a good football player, so we looked up to him, and then later on it was it was the Olympics. We would look at the track runners like, dang, they got all the sponsors and that's tight. Like I want to be yoked like them, or even Arnold Schwarzenegger, like how he was just like the governor, and it's always been them people who stand out, and them people seemed like they were good people. I'm not gonna just follow like a Suge Knight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to follow like like Arnold, like people who can inspire you. So I got lucky, but I mean I had some bad influences too that kind of that now I'm not like, but we all see that. That's why it's very important to when you are a role model to show that example to the kids, because kids see something, like they see people smoking, or they see parents cussing each other, and they think they're supposed to do the same thing because it's just a way. But the way needs to be the way, and the way needs to be a good way. If it's a bad way, you're gonna get bad.
I mean, a kid is like a blank slate, and so when they see people doing bad stuff, they have no concept of good or bad. So they're just like, that's the thing I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? So with a bad influence, like, I mean, they're just going to go down the bad path and not even realize it's a bad path till it's probably too late, when they're getting locked up or something, and then they're going like, this is something I'm not supposed to do.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's education, to be honest.
And
and even through history, our education is wrong. And it's like, how can you teach about the future if we're kept from our past?
Right. It's not the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying before, but the parents, if they're doing bad stuff, they need to recognize that they're doing it, and then I guess repent for that in order to realign their life so that their kids will not follow that same.
How would you use that concept in teaching? Because I know you started
Yeah.
teaching and
Well, I use the concept in that if I'm getting mad as a teacher, I have to fall back, right? Because I'm setting a good example. And you can too, because you're dealing with 30 kids all at the same time, and 5 of them might be troublemakers, right? But at the same time, the better you teach it, if you want to be like God or be the Godhead or to be like Jesus, you gotta literally like have a lot of patience.
Yeah, it is patience.
And you have to strike out at the right time so that it teaches. In the school system these days, it's kind of harder to teach out of love because you literally have to follow these laws and everyone's sugar-coated, so you literally lose your job quick with anything. So you have to walk within the lines of the rules. But literally, you can, that's why it becomes hard in certain things, and it's not for everybody. I personally am lucky, like since I align myself with God, I can just open the doors, So when I do certain things, it's like, oh shit, it just falls right in, right? But if I was fighting it and I was really trying to do things, it would be really difficult, So teaching something that's naturally for me, because in the dance world we already teach each other in practice,
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's a good thing that like I think me and Livik were talking about. We want to do things in this world that people use as useful, whether it's you clean yards or if you're a good speaker, or whatever. These are the gifts that you're supposed to make the world better with, right?
Sure.
When you're doing other shit, we only have 100 years, we're wasting our time. So you want to kind of like align with God, do your best to work with him, and then also give yourself breaks too, because since we have 100 years and nobody does it perfect, nobody gets out of here perfect. Just give yourself time to learn, because that's what we're all learning when we make these mistakes, and give other people too.
Mm-hmm.
The prayer,
Opportunity, yeah.
so the prayer for that is this. There's the rosary, right, that all Catholics say, and Hail Mary, Mother of God. Basically it says, forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us, and deliver us from evil. Just that right there alone, right? Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us is really crazy, because it means like if Livik punches me in the face, right, because he's mad at me, I in my mind, if I'm with God, I'm supposed to forgive him. That could solve a lot of things in his life. Like people are in jail right now for many years because of that. So if you remind yourself of these things with prayers, that's how some people can. That's how you fight to be good, because you have to fight to be good.
Yeah.
In this world is hard.
You got to really fight to do the evil against the evil thing that you want to do, because it's obviously I want to punch this guy in the face, but it's like, is this gonna make this a better situation? It's not, because I want to de-escalate this. I want to help this person understand my thoughts. I want to understand their thoughts. So let's do the thing that's gonna help this. And it's like, forgive them for like something that offended me, and let's move forward.
Yes, exactly. Because if it's just being truthful, and the prayer is showing you the way to not be offended. Like that's amazing, and you can do better work without offense. When you're offended, you're gonna lash out.
You can get offended at everything. I mean, literally everything you can get offended at. And I think it's fine to be offended, but it's really like when you act out on it. It's like if someone's offending you, and then you're like, man, F this, flip the table. Like that's not helping. It's more like, let me dig into this and figure out why I'm offended by it. Because I would guess that it's maybe someone just said something with improper phrasing or something. Like you just don't understand quite what they're getting at. I mean, maybe you really are. Maybe they are really saying some wild shit. But like
sometimes it be like that.
I mean,
too.
sometimes it is like that. And so you want to dig into that though, but like really get the understanding. Because really, if they are saying some wild shit, then it's like, okay, then I know I just don't need to fuck with this person.
But there's levels. I think there's times that some people are not even there yet.
Right.
And some people are there yet. So it's
sometimes
hard.
people are just trying to poke you. Like they just want to say some wild shit to like get you mad. And you gotta, I mean, I used to get real mad at stuff like that. But then I realized, you know what? why not just enjoy that? And like they're playing around with me, just play around with them too.
Play around with them too.
We're just having fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like me getting offended at it is not gonna solve this.
It's not.
Let's just have fun. You know what I mean? Like
go back to love
again. Like that's love. Like that's love. You know, and even if it's someone you disagree with, you're still like approaching it from love. And I think if someone was legit, like being mean to you, and you approached it back with love, they'll probably go,
Yeah,
you know
they
what?
do.
I'm being an asshole right
They do.
now.
They
You know
do
what I mean?
too.
They'll have a better framework to change what they're doing.
And even
know
if
what
you change it, they'll be like, why did he change it?
Right.
And it makes them realize, hey, I did something wrong.
Exactly. Like and that's just using your brain, but God's already shown you how to do that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be in the Bible. It's just in your heart. Or it's through the examples when you see other people being good. You can do that too. You know, so set a good example, come from a good foundation of people who have, you know, you see their works. And then that way the people under us that take over the world is gonna have it too. Because there's a reason why we even have these principles. Yes, they're in our heart, but look how the world is trying to scourge them away. It's trying to make everybody not be that. Girls are hoes these days. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's a player. Everybody's into satanic practices or trying to be super rich or this or that, right? That's not what we're supposed to be doing, but it's tight these days. We got to have these examples where it's okay to be poor. It's okay to give to your friends. It's okay for everybody to be
How would you think we could change that?
We have to change that by praying.
Okay.
We have to change that by praying or even just if you don't do prayer, you literally just
You think through actions
like that.
too?
reframe your mind. I think that's what it is. And again, like recognize where you did bad. That's what I think.
A prayer is like a word to the action, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't say I'm gonna go do this, and then it's not gonna get done. You can just think it and do it too, and that's a process too. But you know, everyone has their process, and you figure out what's best for you. You know, some people can just like. Kids can just meditate like these days.
Yeah.
And just close their eyes. Like for me, when I used to meditate the other way, it used to take me maybe about 5 minutes to drop into the. You guys know what when you drop into the room, right?
Yes.
That's actually
This guy knows all about
That's
it.
hard to do. Even to get that right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you like maybe 3 months of practicing meditation. Maybe you might not even get it. So there's levels to this shit, and practice your levels. You know what I mean? Just like breaking, and it makes you experience life crazy. You know, in a good way, and nobody's gonna tell you this shit. You know, we're telling you this because we love you. You know what I mean? And we love ourselves. You know what I mean? We wanna experience dope shit. You know?
Yeah.
Because like if you got stuff to give, then you can give all day. You know, but if you don't have nothing no more, then you can't give. So you have to set yourself up to give and set yourself up in a good way. You know?
Yeah.
Like some people will rob and do all that shit, but I'm more trying to talk about how do we get these things. You say it and it happens, but when I feel like when I pray and then it happens, it's a humble thing though.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm almost going to a father instead of saying I can do it too by just doing it myself, but it's almost empty. You know, and I really don't get as much stuff either. Like, and it's harder. So.
To me, prayer, I think it's misconstrued a lot in a lot of the mainstream rhetoric, because they go, oh yeah, we're like, you're praying to like some magical being, but I look at it more as like a meditation. I almost think it's the same thing really, because it's you're saying like, I want to get this goal, or I want to somehow achieve this thing, so I'm framing my mind to get there. And you know what I mean? And it's not like you're asking, you know, God for this, you're asking yourself for this, you're asking the universe for this. Like, it's all kind of the same thing, you know what I mean? Like, again, like God is this
and we're a spectrum of
it's this
God.
thing that you don't like fully understand. Like, this is this thing out there, and you're asking the world, you're asking the universe, all this stuff that you don't understand to frame so that you can get to where you want. And that's how I look at it, you know?
I just think the fastest way for me anyway is when I pray it, because I can believe it and I am it, right? But I feel like the speed that it goes to how fast it takes longer.
Yeah.
And it's more physically like this is a good example. Okay, them Shaolin monks, right? They can bless a spot. You can tell because they're really spiritual, right? But they gotta like do extreme things like super meditation,
Yes.
crack their heads. Catholic don't really have to do that as much. Not saying it's not as deep. It's different practices. It is the 8 hours a day, but it's not as physical. So if you're a physical person and you're Asian, it's probably gonna make more sense to do this. You know, if you're, but then too, like if you look at Christianity, it's everywhere, and you can be anything. So really, it's not a colorful thing. It's what is in your heart. It's what makes sense to you. It's who do you idolize? Not idolize. I don't like to use that word, but who do you look up to that shows you the best way to do it? You know,
because it's good to have a mentor too. Like have someone that you look up to that guides you the right way.
Yeah, because
it's hard to just come up and I'm gonna do this. Yeah, you have to have.
What are you gonna follow? So for a lot of people, the Bible is those steps, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it doesn't look fun, you know. And people, but like how I got into the Bible recently, right? Is they tricked me and shit, right? They tricked me.
What?
This is how they tricked me. Okay, I am is a concept of where people they think that God is in them, and you know maybe that works too. So they tricked me, you know. I'm what's that book? I am okay. I believe in that because I used to say I am things too, and they make me feel good when I say like I am happy, I am positive, or I am I can even say I am sad and I'll feel sad because you're commanding yourself, right? But the power of it, which they teach you, and this is the whole Bible, but it's really I am second. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So I'm behind God, like, but we are, but I am. So, but it's a whole Bible in here, and this whole Bible, I wouldn't have read it the other way. I've read the old Bible before, but I couldn't finish it. The words were weird. They were like, holy thou, and I don't speak like that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, dude, that's stupid. Like, come on, bro. But everything
things
is
have
in
to
here.
change.
Yeah,
Things have to change, and that's why they knew what they were doing with the I am. They were like, a lot of people are new age. Let me get them right here.
Yeah,
they got me though.
I mean, it's really understanding concepts of all of it. I think that's really what it is.
It's like even language. If you really think about it, how it evolved. It came from sound, and then from sound, it came from art, and then from art, it came from speaking.
Yes, and all these things are in the Bible. They're under God. They're God's art, and we just play with certain ones because they're you know, it's like English today, math tomorrow, science this time. But really, it's all under the God school. So
yeah,
it's all one.
Yeah, we can combine it, and just us three, you know, our combinations, us four of today, we're gonna live life different, you know. And these are 1-ups, you know, for everybody. This will help your life. This is very important, just like going to church. This is church, you know, but just of a b-boy fashion and a hip hop fashion.
B-boy church.
Because you know, like there's b-boys as pastors and stuff too. They're teaching people to live, you know. But maybe everybody's not a b-boy in that church. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's like normal people, but they might even get the swag of a b-boy and do it super fresh. Because I notice every b-boy, once we start doing the other thing in life and we attach it to b-boy and we just literally like take off, you know, and then they're just like, dang, where'd that person come from? It's the brain of a b-boy is like, we have to spin shit. Like Jada Kiss is an example. He's one of the best rappers because he's breaking. Nas too. You know, those are b-boys. So that's why they're the best rappers. Just spinning it through their head.
Yeah, man, that's dope. I wanted to talk to you actually about the scene. I know we keep jumping back to that, but what is your opinion about like the general hip hop scene? Because it's very different from I think when you first started.
I think it keeps changing as far as what's going on in society today. It's a lot of aggression today, and it's also a lot of like we're almost doing different gender roles these days to where it's like, you know, you see Atlanta, it's like a lot of transsexual, transgender. Like when we do hip hop, we're thinking breaking, we're not even seeing those colors, right? We're just more like breaking and shit. But you know, that's how you should see it. You understand what I mean? They're doing something different now. Like you got people in the ATL and they kind of even wear skirts and shit. We wouldn't think that that's hip hop, but those people are representing hip hop as far as they do rap and they do music, and
it's a new approach.
It's a new approach, and it's weird, but it's just like maybe I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to stick to your ways too. But like God said, love. So, you know, if someone is doing something bad, sometimes you just gotta hold back and not say anything, you know, unless that person is like harming other people. I think that's when God tells you to step in. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a feeling and you say, hey man, I don't know, that's kind of weird because, and then you guys get into a debate and then you gotta go through the pains of the debate.
Yeah.
And see if your point is valid enough to debate with this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think as humans, when we see something that we don't understand, we immediately go, I'm gonna fight against that. Because like from a survival standpoint, like if we were animals or whatever, right, and you see something that you don't know what's going on, like that thing might be the thing that kills you, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's probably why we feel that way. And so I think recognizing that, and that's why you're having this weird reaction to it, I think once you recognize that, you can kind of put that aside and go, okay, let me now dig a little bit deeper into what the heck this is, and if this is actually something bad, or if I'm just being a hater.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because once you dig into that, then you can go, okay, I got a better frame of mind around this whole thing that now I'm finally understanding, and then approach it from there, you know? And you know, it's you're not coming at it as like a hater or something like that. You're approaching it with a better frame of mind, I think.
Right. I'll always be fair, you know, when you're coming into something. Be
Yeah.
humble and look at it all for what it is. Because if you try to go too fast, you're not going to catch certain things, you know.
Exactly.
So,
Like even when you go out of state or you go somewhere, it's like they have a different language and you're like, it's whoa.
it's whoa, huh?
Yeah, so.
Takes time to take it in. But if you go through the process, like experience those things like it's a book. You know, like anything, like take your time. Like, you know, we're drinking coffee in the morning. We're trying to just, you know, it's early. You know, we're not trying to go too fast right now. We're just trying to like set up the day. Like, you know, play some smooth music in the morning. You know, do what you have to do. That way, and then when you want to turn up, there's a time for all that. You know, there's a time and place for everything. So, you know, that way you can. It's like music. You know how have you ever seen the music how it's composed? Like when it's good music, it's good. Shapes of the waves, right?
Yeah.
It's like art.
I mean, it has good buildup,
Yeah.
right? It builds up. Because if you just have, which is actually a good topic for this, actually, because a lot of music nowadays is very stagnant. It'll be hype.
'Cause it sucks.
Especially like a lot of the produced break music now. It's just like, start the battle, it's 100 miles an hour. And there's something fundamentally wrong with that, I think, because it never built up.
Yeah.
And when it builds up and then it hits that, it's such a more satisfying like approach to it, you know?
It's like they don't even do a book anymore. They just give you the microwave shit, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
like here's a quick book, and then it's like, dude, what did that mean though?
Yeah.
So the approach of things is dope. I like to use the approach of God. You know, I feel like God has the most musical approach. One good example is this. Well, basically when I'm dancing, I don't have moves. I have what is being told, right? So I'm literally looking at the crowd and looking at hearing the music, and it's telling me what to do. So literally, like, and I can tell when I'm about to rip it because it's like I've been doing it so long. It's almost like someone's saying, "Hey,
It's like a second nature to you.
yeah, turn this way and do this, and I think you should hit this." And then everyone's over here, blow it up right now because the music's about to go. It's
Yeah.
almost like. So
That's
You have a
crazy.
sixth sense of it. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said,
that's dope.
you straight up, I swear, every time it's like when the battle is about to go crazy, it's always Vietnam shows up and does some crazy shit.
It's because we
And
already
it's like-
we already know we're
and
gonna feel it already. It's
yeah,
coming.
I mean,
because I'm feeling it.
like
Yeah.
go watch all these old battles with you know, Rockforce versus
Even-
the Family, or like
Yeah.
what was the one at Freestyle Session 7? You guys kind of got robbed at
Skill methods,
Skill
versus
Methods
rhythm
and
bugs.
Ground Zero.
or even the B-Boy Summit one.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
seriously, all those ones, it's like shit is starting to get crazy, and then here comes Vietnam to
Right,
blow
right.
it up,
Yeah.
and then it's like you're like the guy that always leveled up the battle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
and that's really
Or
like,
took back control of the battle.
What made
really.
you get
right.
into that? Like, what? Because
Yeah.
you were hungry.
a second
yeah,
nature.
I was hungry. It's second nature. It's a impulsive thing. Like I was very impatient. You know, when
Yeah.
I was young, I didn't have patience. I never did any type of meditation. Never praying. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever. So I would just try. It's like a one hitter quitter. Like, you know what I mean? Just get it over with. And because you know, no one wants to be too nervous the whole time. You know, so I would just want to get it over with.
Oh yeah.
Go out first, blow it up. You know, have the crowd feel me, and then I can just let everybody else do it, and then come back in. You know, I'm really like impatient. Like I've never been one to watch the other person and then let them go out and then see and strategize. Like I don't move second when it's this. You know what I mean? When
like
it's this,
that.
you know what I mean? When
Yeah,
it's this
yeah.
thing. Breaking is something that I know. It's almost like I'm, it's like basketball that Kobe knows. I know it. But at the same time, I'm trying to do a musical composition of it, because the better you get at art, I think you're getting godly, right? One example is this: Virgin Mary, right? She pops up and she's an apparition, and she'll be like on a cloth or something, right? She paints those things too. Like, she'll literally, like, it's a flash, some bright light that you never could see. It's too bright, and then it'll be an apparition right here. No graffiti could do that. She did that, right? Boom. Yeah. God did that. Boom. And literally, like, when they check out the design and the drawing, it's a musical song. It's musical song, and a beautiful one. Like, whoa! Like, it's like, so they already know how to blast that. That's better than Spotify and all that shit. It's almost like fucking some Spotify mixed with YouTube mixed with in one blast.
That's like the foundation of it.
It's the foundation. So it's easy for them to do that. Why don't we learn? We can probably never do this, but let's say I want one of those things. And that's what we are. It's like we all have different talents. She has a lot of them. Mm-hmm. He has almost all of them, and then God has all of them. Mm-hmm. We are, tiny bit, and that's why we're supposed to combine our shit, so God can be like, you know what? They kind of got the little Lego concept right here. Like, how the parents, they pay for the Legos for the kid, right? I bought you your Legos, so I'm gonna see what you're gonna build. And if you build some cool Legos, I'm going to bring you up to this class. Bring you up. You can't transfer to higher classes of God if you don't impress him. How do we impress him? We pray. We build like this. He watches when you give a bum $1. He watches when you go to church. He watches when you smack that girl. He watches when you, did heroin in front of the police. Nah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows, he knows, like, so do good to represent, because he's watching, and it's not like, it's not fake, I can't speak for anybody's life. It seems like some people probably live some great lives and don't deal with God, But I'm just saying from my example what feels good and what I see. I would rather, I care about myself. I care about everybody. So I want to give you the best example of what I know in the 40 years. But everyone still has to walk their path. So it's going to be, sometimes when you're on this good side, it hurts even more, because you're like, now you have to be good. Mm-hmm. So now I'm not trying to be a preacher or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make things work. I don't think that I ever could be one of those people. The preachers is like the Bboy Vietnams of the Catholic world. That's like, they be putting in work. Like, you got some preachers that just bleed all the time. They literally bleed out the palms how Jesus did. And it doesn't stop. So I can't do that shit. I could stand on the wrist, but these guys are bleeding out the palms all the time. So that's almost something like it's a blow up to me. So if I can't be that, I let these people do their thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, you impressed me. I get it, because I can't do that. So I encourage everybody to do this. When you learn about something special, go to that place and visit. It could be any religion. It could be anything. Go there. Go feel the artifacts. Feel what it feels like. Because what you're doing on this earth is trying to get a sense of what's good and what's bad and which way to go.
Yeah, explore these things that you're interested in.
It's the same with hip hop. Like, if you really want to dive into it, dive into it. Exactly.
Yeah. This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by cardboard. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about the same cardboard that is used to protect your year's supply of Preparation H as it is shipped from the warehouse to your residence. Same cardboard that you used to spin on your back because you were too broke and lazy to walk to that free practice session that your local hip-hop scene provides. And yes, that same cardboard that was used to make the poster of Justin Bieber that you hide in your closet. Don't worry, as a true believer myself, I will not let your secret out. Have you ever wondered what that B in Cardi B's name stands for? Well, it's Board. Mrs. Cardi Board supplying your local strip club with the freshest tunes. Cardboard is smooth, strong, and stylish. It's the perfect replacement for all your cardstock needs. Head down to your local dumpster and dive right in to pick up the latest shipment of cardboard and have yourself a Cardi Boardy time. And now, on to the show.
And don't think of living on Earth like as an animal thing. We're here to eat and just, that's too simple. No, we actually have this special story that we can, if we put our efforts towards being good, things actually happen. You know, I don't know about the heaven thing. It says that and people say that, but let's just hope that is, you know, there's some things that you got to hope for too. That, you know what I mean? That you're doing things for this reason. Yeah. It's not going to hurt you.
It's not.
You know, I look at heaven as like, heaven is a state of mind. You're putting yourself there through like your art, your creation, your promotion of love to other people. Like you can get to there here. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it.
I've heard that philosophy too, you know. I read it though as that this place is actually somewhere where, you know how there's like it's actually designed too. It actually like has measurements. And it's I think it's in the first pages of the book, you know,
okay.
So it'll explain this place in the sky. The sky could be anything. It could be all those places like that, you know how the planes fly? It could be the space, it could be whatever. But you know, there's people that come from that side and they die almost and they're like, yo, it was like this. So there's never gonna be proof because that's not how God made it. You know what I mean? He'll give you like little hints and shit, but at the same token, living good here on this earth is gonna help you get to heaven. So it's like a mini heaven.
Yeah.
You know,
and plus, even living here good, it makes you feel good.
It feels good, right?
It feels good. That's what it is.
You appreciate it.
And that's kind of what I mean by it. Like it's a state of mind, is because you can get yourself there to feel good, and you can continue to be there. And I mean, if there's something beyond, there's something beyond too. But it's like, but there's also this here too. You
little mini heaven.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Because there's levels to being good too. Like
for sure.
Since I already know the way, right? If I lie and I'm doing a bunch of shit, my blessings don't come. They literally, God will stop and be like, yeah, but I seen this and and you did those prayers, or you know, you were in church, but I seen this and I know how you feel, so it doesn't come. And you can't. Yeah, it's full circle. You can't trick it. Like you can't just fake it. You know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really want to walk that practice because it's really hard. You know, but for me, it's almost like as if I already went all types of ways, right? And that shit is all just like the same thing. You know what I mean? It's always like you come up short. So with this thing, it seems like some real shit to where I can't prove it spiritually, but I can feel it and then show you through my blessings.
I think there's power in that for sure.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Even my boys are not into that, like Christianity, right? They'd be like in a new age. I'd be like, yo, but you see this the rosary is cool, right? I can feel the power in it. You know, but my boy, he's not into that. You know, he's into new age and spiritual because I can feel the power in it though, because there is power in all these things. I feel like for me, I lean on Jesus being the main thing, you know, because it's easier and that's already like natural for me. But for other people, yes, I think, you know, lean on something, but figure out about it. You got to go touch it, see if it's evil. Like I have the sense of where I can tell what is evil. I can't really be tricked that easy to where I can't see your aura, but I could just get something weird about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. I didn't have that before, so I was literally had everyone kicking it with me, you know? But literally, like, yeah, there's that too. There's some people on this earth that just want to do real bad, you know? Not all the time, but I wouldn't say they're made like that, but they're 99% evil, you know? And they kick it, and they're in our entertainment fields and in government and everywhere, you know? But
definitely.
How do you combat that is you understand that the feeling, and then you rise above it, because even though these people are bad, they can't really hurt you, you know? They can maybe be richer than you or make you feel bad, like if you go into it. But if you don't care about money, then who gives a fuck? If you don't care about impressing these people, who gives a fuck? Yeah. Who do you got to impress? You got to do good on this earth for God, help people. That's who you impress. And you will have everything you need. You might not have everything like 50 microphones or 20 cameras, but you only need 3 microphones. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. But there'll be some dope ass microphones. They'll be gold, silver, and you'll have.
Let's go.
That's actually how I approach Breakin, man. I was never trying to impress others. I was trying to impress myself.
And that's why you look comfortable.
I mean, the art is for yourself. I think.
Exactly.
I mean, it's an extension.
It's the therapy of it. Yeah.
It's an extension of yourself.
So Vic's saying like he just rides in his own lane. You know what I mean? He's just in his lane and he's not swerving around in the traffic and trying to get in front of the big rig. He's just riding, you know? And that's how you have to be in life.
Yeah.
Like you will literally get in trouble for being nosy. Like if you're walking around and then you get into this person's conversation and shit, they could be really fighting, you know. And then so literally just walk, be humble, you know, in life, and you know, try to remind yourself if you have to have good friends, and literally like you don't always have to like be the star, you know. Everyone wants to be on the star on their phones, you know. They're kind of tricking us, and they're like, yeah, be the star, so because they want to find the stars and basically be your agent and take your money. That's what all this shit is for, you know. Like who's the YouTube star, who's the Instagram, yeah, they want to be your manager and, you know, get money and get added. It's not really for you, but you're finding a way to show off with it. So there's money in showing off, you know. There's money in getting to the top of something.
Yeah, but it's what that matters to you, you know. For me, I think like art is really the thing that I strive for, because it's like art is so interesting to me because, like I said earlier, it's not for anyone, it's for yourself, and that's why it's so cool to see other people's art, because when I see it, I get a sense of what they are. You know what I mean? Like you can tell a little bit about what's going on in their psyche through their art. Like when I see you dance, I'm like, this guy, he's thinking on a different level than other people, just because I can tell like the way, like the moves you do, just the energy you bring, how you know how to hit everything at the right time. There's something going on there, you know?
But that right time is like, that's what I leave up to God.
Oh, hell, yeah.
Because it's like when you're responding to a beat that you don't know,
I mean, you're like blessed in that moment to, you know, like you get
you really got to live
divine,
that moment,
like,
man.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
But I've seen people that even live it more than me, like Remind, like he really like, and that's a good example. So I have to be true to myself, because the dancers who I look up to, they already are expressing themselves. Yeah. But now we're dancing on some Jesus shit. So it's like every round is that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's going to be more O's, like 15 O's now. Because he's going to make, even though I already like, it's weird. Like I could be editing a video, right? And it's not even that song. But whatever I put on that, magically the moves, they just like connect. It's not something that I'm even doing anymore. There's no formula for that. It's just put some clips in there. You got the song going. How come they're matching? Oh shit, like I'm not even trying to edit it. It's amazing, right? Yeah. So God, that's kind of like, he's like, oh, I've had you listen to so much music that I'm gonna bless you with the things are just gonna go together. I know you're a little sloppy, so I'm gonna let shit go together and I'm gonna patch it up for you, you know?
What someone told me a long time ago was like, everybody has like a piece of God in them. They're not like like no one is God, but they have a piece of it in them. Right. And it's kind of like you're like blessed with this skill where you can just put your art together in such a way that it just is amazing. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's something divine to that. You know what I mean?
Totally divine. Like I recognize that as divine. I don't think there's ever been a time that I ever thought it was myself. You know, I don't think.
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
I'm not.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like yourself. But you're like blessed with this talent somehow. And it's coming
like,
from somewhere.
Why are you Vietnam? Why does everybody know? It wasn't just coincidence that it was gonna be Vietnam. You know, there has to be something. Why?
It's almost like a story is written before you even do it, right? Like you're sitting here living on this earth, but everything just matches up. Like how we're talking about the editing. My friend made the name because I just kept saying the same term over and over. Like, yo, we on some old Vietnam shit. Yo, let's go be on some old Vietnam shit. Oh shit, that's some old Vietnam shit. Like I just kept saying it. I can't make that happen. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing and that's what I think evolution is. It's like God made the earth, right? The earth has needs. We have needs as human beings. So these icons have to come out. These words, this art has to come out. Because God made it, right? But how does he talk to us? Through us. So there had to be a B-Boy Vietnam. There had to be a B-Boy Remind. There had to be a B-Boy Ivan. Like the world made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yes, our moms made it, but our moms was made from God. Just like how Virgin Mary was made from God you know what I'm saying? We're just the little ones. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we're all like a little piece of history, and there's something divine to that for sure.
We're pieces of it.
We're all pieces of it in a puzzle that we can't comprehend.
Right, a beautiful puzzle.
Because you don't know what the future holds. Like, hey,
and you honestly don't even know the past too well either.
You do create your own, but I think you create your future. through God with living through him, because there's a lot of futures already maybe written for you when you're coming out of the womb, right?
Yeah.
But it's all in that choice that you make. I noticed it because I always have a split second to do something or not, right? Where does that come from? Like, why is it made like that to where, you know, you just, there's that split second, okay, I could.
Yeah, you don't see it as what it is.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
So God is literally saying, I give you a choice, the good one or the bad one, or maybe like there's 3 of them, but you got to literally figure out how to pick the right one. And usually it's just like, do the right thing.
Yeah,
that will be the right one. Because I've listened to lectures, right? Make no fucking sense. But I'm just still cool with the teacher because it's a Christian school. It's like, you know, and you got to respect, right? God will literally make what she told me make more sense than anything I ever learned. And it's like, dude, when I was there listening to her, it was the wrong thing. It didn't even match. But my humbleness made the art match. You know what I'm saying? It's like as if the rules of physics and measurements, it doesn't mean anything to God. Those are just cute ways that he makes us make things, you know? But really, when it's time for him to do his magic, or I don't like to call it magic because that's something different, but when it's time to do his work, he makes it work.
Yeah.
You can stop time. You can make something happen. You can do miracles. You can, you know, like, not saying that you want to impress everybody, but you kind of are. Like, me blowing it up is somewhat of a miracle for people. Like, dang, how did you make your body do that?
It's inspiring.
I tapped in. That's why. It ain't nothing big like other things, miracles, like I told you, Virgin Mary came. Well, I don't think I told you this, but when she came to Fatima, she made the sun dance for 3 hours, right? Mm-hmm. What? How is the sun dancing?
That's crazy.
Like blow-ups, like the sun
It was a
is
party.
like, hey.
It was a party. It was the hypest jam.
Hypest jam, bro. Like 10,000 people really seen it.
That's crazy.
So, and you can look this up. Like, you know, there's Netflix Fatima. Watch that whole thing, or just even Google it. Fatima, it's a good one. But how did I find out about Fatima? It's almost like God uses things like Netflix, YouTube, books, people, interviews, colors, graffiti, things like that to show us at this point in time, this is what you need to do. He's not going to just speak to you from a top and say, hey, guys, this is... Nobody wants to hear that shit. You know what I mean? They're like, shut up, you know? But... He does it in these colors that's like, I know every single one of you. So I can, let me see if you get the point.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just to tell you right away, either that's too easy and people don't listen to that, right? But he's going to tap into you. But, you know, your heart has to be there to say, you know what, can you draw from me? And I can come on too, you know? If you do it your own way, you can do it like that way too. But I just feel like it's kind of better to do it with 2 people, you know? And if I were just to lean on it myself, I've tried that, you know? It's, like I said, I am. You can do a lot, but there's almost like a missing feeling behind it. Like, and you might be able to get money and all these types of things through, you know, believing I am and manifesting and all that stuff, which is dope, you know? Like, that's why that principle is there too, but it's half of it. I feel like it's not even half of it. It's 1/16 of the fullness of everything, you know. I want to take the whole school. I don't want to just take one subject. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of subjects, you know, but I noticed this is like they all make something, you know.
Because you learn something from every single one too.
You learn everything. You there's even shapes like you know, the Jewish, they think of the star, right? Jewish star. Some people's like, damn, that's a pentagram. It's all those things. It's how you interpret it though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the Nazi sign. Yeah. That's actually a positive sign, but it's how you do it.
That's why they used it.
We were talking about like that.
Constant growth. I think it was constant growth and movement and stuff, and that's kind of what they were trying to do, and they just went down the deep end, and now it's like this hate symbol, but it really never meant that. It's a damn shame too, because like there's like actually good stuff behind that, but now it's just this hate symbol that, I mean, you don't want to be a part of any of that stuff. That's it corrupts stuff. So
just think, one little symbol is that powerful, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, just a symbol that you make is powerful. Like, so our words, certain words can be powerful. Your intention and what you feel can always be read and felt through the earth. One example of that is this. If you were to see that glass of water right there, when we speak on that water, it literally forms a crystal, right? If you were to do, you know, crystal diagnosis or whatever, look at it. It makes it.
And like
if we cuss, it's gonna look ugly. The shape. So that's already science showing. Like, look, what you speak works and doesn't. Another example is Buddhists will come and pray for this whole lake that's polluted and can't be fixed. They can do it. They just pray and all of a sudden it starts cleaning out. The people who clean shit like that, the big oil companies couldn't do that. So there's something in the power of this. So I'm saying some of these things are super simple, but they have way more power than like anything that you can make chemically. Because this is the real alchemy. You know what I mean? This is the real alchemy. So remember when I was young, I would play games like Solomon's Key. There was like a lot of like things you're questing for something. I think they were trying to or there was Indiana Jones, the quest for the Holy Grail, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows these things are special, and if you were to steal them and try to sell them on the black market, it would cost a lot of money, right? Like, so people know that they're special. They know what they can do, and they're not just toys, but they're the most important toys that we need to look for, and to for our experience on this earth to be dope. We don't need to go to all the Mars and all that shit. We can make this experience right here amazing. We should already have the flying cars and all this shit, stuff like that. But that has something to do with they got people on this earth that's doing more evil than the good people. So they're like, let's hold this back. We gotta literally like not mess up their money, because they need us to make money, right? They need workers like as slaves. So they literally steal all our ideas from the hood and bring it out to them and make it good, right? They figured out that. What we gotta do is we gotta fix our prayers. We gotta say, okay, I don't want to be used anymore. God, can you just send me around people who don't use me, or that collaborate with my ideas, and that will come. So that's the solution, I think, to it. Is sometimes we don't ask for the right thing, and we don't feel that we can, and you can.
That's why we have like kind of technology. We can actually speak it out. We don't have to wait for someone to let us speak it out.
Exactly. Technology is dope. Technology is so dope that it's so real. Check this out. I just found this out recently. When Virgin Mary popped up in Portugal, right? Someone had a recorder, and they were like, they gave it to the kid. This is the 60s though, so they only had like big recorders and shit. It wasn't like an iPhone, but he's like, hey, when Virgin Mary talks, tell her to say something in the box, so we can hear what her voice sounds like. So when Mary did talk, you hear this. If you listen to the recording back, it's this very beautiful voice, right? And then she said, "Okay, I said something for the people," but literally, when the kids are listening back to that playback, they go, "Yeah, that's her voice." It's the 3 kids that can see her, or the 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
So literally, there's been Virgin Mary's voice on tape. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like, and this technology and these things help us understand how the world works a little bit more. Kind of like helps our ear, and that's the good way of using technology.
Exactly.
The bad way is let's go blow up people. Let's go kill people. Let's do abortions. Virgin Mary.
Or misguide people.
Let's misguide people. Like, they don't like killings. They don't like murders and all that shit. That's the worst things we can do as humans. We're really supposed to be making music and.
Do you know the story of, I think it's Oppenheimer, who was part of the Manhattan Project, who made the atomic bomb in World War II?
All bad.
Yeah, so this guy was like a scientist, and he was, on the cutting edge of science. And, around that time was right when Einstein started developing his theories of relativity. And so Oppenheimer was like, one of the foremost scientific authorities on that subject. And so that's why they went to him to help them out. And so what he did is he helped them out, and then they used that to make the atomic bomb. Yeah. And when they dropped the bomb, he has this like famous quote that he read. I think it was from the Bhagavad Gita. And it was, I can't remember what it was, but it's basically like, I am the destroyer of worlds, like something like that. And he basically was saying that he is sad that he helped create such destruction, even though he originally just approached it from a science perspective. All he wanted to do was to progress the science, and now he got became a part of this like really evil thing. And
There's actually a video on YouTube of him talking
like
about it.
Such a sad story.
Black and white.
Man. Like
he got tricked.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad.
And that's what they're tricking all these scientists to do.
I think Einstein even regretted.
Even him.
I think he said he even regretted it because his science directly created that bomb.
Yeah. So Virgin and Miriam, they be hating on science. They say this shit needs to just chill. It's like abomination to God, and literally, like, look.
I mean, I think science is great, but it's like you also gotta approach it with
humane,
with the understanding that someone might use this for evil. So how can you like keep it away from the evil people? You know what I mean? Like keep it away from evil.
Right. You almost have to pray on it. Like you have to, like suppose something does get created. I think you would have to pray on it. That's something that the preachers will tell you that how you could. There's particular prayers for everything, and there's particular ways to think. Maybe even it could just be too like, hey God, don't let them bite my shit for evil when you make it, because literally He knows what you're saying. So, but there's always gonna be evil on this earth because that's how it's made. Like it's literally this is Satan's playground, right? And he's trying to find every evil way to trick you, to where you can't get into your power. Remember I told you we already know how it's gonna end, right? We have all our power and we go to heaven, right? But he's trying to do anything to trick you, whether it's just like, some heroin pops on the table and you just do it, or like anything, because he don't want you to have a good job. He don't want you to be happy. He don't want you to have good kids. And so sometimes he'll make it seem good for you. And then literally like, you'll never have what you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
But it's sad that technology has advanced more than humanity does. The humanity... It's rapidly going, and humanity is still the same. They're not trying to uplift it or push it to evolve.
Yeah, I forget who said it. It was
technology is going too fast.
Like, well, because it takes so long for humans to really evolve. Because just a couple, 1,000 years ago, we were using stones and stuff to do stuff, and like really, our biology has not caught up to using all this cell phone shit. And so like the technology, we really are still acting like as if these are just stones and stuff, but we got this huge power of communication. And it's like, we're still just kind of dumb idiots that are running around trying to fight each other and stuff. But now we have like all these like crazy weapons to like do that with. And it's like, I think that's where the science kind of gets corrupted. Right. I don't think science is like a bad thing, but it's like when bad people or just evil things are getting involved with it, like someone's going to use it for bad. And so,
it's like kind of misused, right?
Yeah. It's just the same way you pick up a rock and throw it at somebody. Mm-hmm. You could have picked up that rock and helped build a house for somebody, but instead you decide to throw it at somebody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Yeah. And it's less dangerous to like do it like that than to throw a freaking atomic bomb at someone. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's really it is. We still have that same reaction. Like either I can do something good with it or I can throw the freaking rock, but now I'm throwing bombs at people.
Right.
Just our biology hasn't caught up to it to understand just the repercussions of that.
And who's checking us? Who's saying don't do that?
The only thing that's checking us is us,
right?
And the people, and we're holding each other accountable for that. And I don't think humans are like inherently smart enough to really stop them unless they really take a second to stop and just reflect on what the repercussions of it and if the action is like moving towards good,
And to be honest, I think like, not trying to say nothing wrong, but I think there's more stupid people in this world than smarter people.
There is.
And when there's more stupid people, when one smart person wants to speak, because there's so many stupid people, they're going to follow all the stupid people, what they're saying. Yeah. So it's hard to just say something and people are going to say, this is the right way. And the masses people are not trying to do something good for it.
One way is you find charismatic people or situations to distribute the info, right? Like some people, they just have the word, so they can speak it and people will get it easy. And you need those people to be pastors, And then you got some people who are good at doing the word. So you need those people to be in church to, everyone has their thing. The word is the word, but sometimes like for me, it could make me more influential just because the word is in me. So that way I look like I'm a better speaker than I am. For one, I'm feeling it. And that's definitely what you need to be a good speaker. People can tell when you're feeling it. And then two, you know, everything that's coming out of you makes sense. I notice everything that comes out of the book and what I've applied it to can make sense when I apply it right. But as I move away from it, I almost feel a sense of like unstableness, you know, and that's probably because it's almost like, okay, not to say I've never been on the right path, but you're more on the right path now than not. So your gauge is there, you know. Because I've always had a lot of ideas for years and stuff, but now they just come out in a smooth way, and they just come out in a way where it's just like it's like a good book from beginning to end, not in just like bow, you know. So that's the style. That's style. You know what I mean?
So speaking of that stuff, actually, because not only are you a b-boy, but you're also a musician, a rapper. You write. I think you said you're working on a movie scripts, stuff like that. Yeah. Do you still get the same kind of inspiration for that stuff as you do from breaking, or how's that different?
It's kind of like a mix between everything. Like, you know, as a breaker, you want to be fresh and you want to, you know, always have the newest something on. You always want to do it well. You want it to look good. Some things take longer than others, though. Like I'm noticing, you want to be, you know, an actor. You have to go to acting class.
Yeah, you got to get the tools to be good
foundation,
at it. Yeah,
right.
It's a foundation, yeah.
And I'm only 40, right? So I've been trying to do all kinds of stuff since I was 6. So that's 34 years of trying all these different things. 5 years here, 10 years here, 16 years here, whatever. And shit, there's so many things on the earth to do. It's almost like as if you really have to just be like, okay, I'm just sticking with these 8 things that I could do good, you know? Because dang, who even has that? Sometimes you only have one. So I would say stick to your guns. You know, try to learn other things that are kind of similar to your guns.
Yeah.
You know, I think dance is one of my guns, so I stick to it, you know. Hustling is another thing because hustling just really means you do your job with a smile. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? If it's selling coffee, hey, you know, that's going to work. You know what I'm saying? So literally do that. Keep it simple. And then that will make you better. But also too, like with me, my life is so vast because some things would fail and I was doing the other thing to survive. So literally to put yourself in environments that are, you want to grow, make them difficult for you and survive through prayer. And if you want to tone down, like now my environments are not so scary, you can do that too.
What do you think the importance of failure is in your growth? Because to me, a lot of times, like I need the failure to help guide the journey. You know what I mean? Like I want to get to some place and I have an idea of how to do it. So I go for it. And then I hit the wall. I realize that there was maybe a couple things I did wrong. I need to make an adjustment to get to it. And if I never failed, I would never would have never grown and like understood that there's this path and there's a reason I go this way and not that way.
It's exactly that. It's the contrast.
Yeah.
You're teaching yourself the contrast of like light and dark, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm in the dark. I don't know what's going on. And now let me get illuminated with light and then learn something so that I could crawl out the cave, you know? Remember we were cavemen before.
Yeah.
So it's like, keep going to the light. But the light is knowledge applied under humbleness, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's knowledge, right? But then what about like, okay, well, let's just do this the right way. Let's just do this like with help, you know, instead of like, not saying that doing it your own way isn't, you had to do that too when the old covenant was, you know, you had to figure it out. But I'm like saying, let's let all that work that people did help us.
I find that failure helps me be less scared of doing something.
Yeah.
Because I've already gone through the worst case scenario. I get maybe not the worst case scenario, but I understand what the worst case scenario is and I can deal with it. So I am no longer afraid of just going straight ahead and trying to get this goal, you know? Because, I mean, man, just anything in your life, if you don't understand, I mean, the unknown is the scary part, really. So once you start digging at it and seeing what's there, you go, okay, maybe it's not so bad anymore. I can do this, you know?
Right. So that darkness, that unknown is as I walk through the valley in the shadow of death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's literally like we always are walking through the valley in
yeah.
the shadow of death. But just know that there is that help. And it just goes like this. You just pray and you close your eyes, and literally it's that simple. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to church. The answer is right there, It might not come this first day, but you will learn how your mind gets quiet, and you might not see God's face image, but you can ask for that answer. If you do need help to see things, look at pictures of God. Put that right there. Maybe talk to that. Look at yourself in the mirror. Talk to that. That way you have some type of reflection to know what you're doing. Because sometimes we don't know. Our brain is not Sony or Canon. You know what I mean? So you're not always getting watched. You're just doing. Sometimes you're doing and you're wilding. And you're doing wrong, and your teachers are telling you stop, but you're like, no, I could do this. If you just do what you want, that's not the world. The world is under some type of rule. And if you follow these particular rules, they might not make you so happy that you think, but they're going to make you happy in the long run. If your cat is always crying, wah, wah, wah. Dude, I just fed you like 5 minutes ago, right? You're going to get fat, but they want that food. If you keep giving them the food, you keep giving yourself that bad food, you're going to get this or that too, right? So you need someone to help you, Some people think they got it their own way. Cool. Okay, then do it.
Yeah.
Show me the examples after.
Yeah, it's always that reflection. Man.
Yeah, and learn from other people's mistakes too. You don't necessarily need to make the mistake too. You can say, "Hey, I seen that that guy just walked into this burning pit of fire. Let me make sure I don't walk in that fire too."
That's real. So I wish Instagram told the whole story of a lot of things.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, you're only going to see the hypest part of stuff, and you're not going to see the hard work that maybe went into it.
Right. But there's a lot of people that do, you never know what they do behind it, but there's a lot of good people out there. Sometimes you can just tell by the blessings.
I would say most people are good.
I think so.
And they're just, if they do bad shit, they're misguided and just need to realign themselves a little bit.
But there's so much, on like social media, man, that's too much right now. It's like there's too much going on that it just people are just seeing it as one thing, and that's what the kids are going to start seeing, and they're going to think that's the right way to see it.
Those are their role models.
You know what?
Exactly.
Someone, I forget where I saw this or heard it. So I think someone was telling me this, but basically, humans are not meant to understand past, what the number of people that would have been in like a tribe, right? And so on social media, you see the lives of hundreds, thousands of people, right? Mm-hmm. But really, so it's overwhelming to follow all that. But with only normally in your own circle without social media, there's only maybe 50 people you interact with on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And that's how our brains are framed. And so when we go onto social media and we see all this crazy stuff, it makes our brain kind of get messed up. And it just, I think what they're saying is it F's you up in the sense that you cannot track it anymore. And
yeah, because there's some people that are even addicted to it.
Mm-hmm. For sure, it's an addiction.
They need it.
It's designed to be an addiction too, though. I mean, in the same way that when you pull a lever on a casino slot machine, it's the same thing as when you're scrolling, because you might get something cool, you might get something weird, you know. And then when you see a picture, let's say you're on Instagram, you see a picture, a cool video, you get a little hit of dopamine because, hey, that was cool. Mm-hmm. And then the person on the other side goes, hey, somebody liked it. They get a hit of dopamine. So it's this constant feeding of dopamine, but really you didn't do anything to deserve the dopamine. Normally,
what's
dopamine.
The approval? That's to me, it doesn't make sense. But how does it make sense to others?
It doesn't have to. It's just more it fucks them up.
Yeah, it fucks them up.
And
you're not meant to do it.
So it's kind of like a drug.
Yeah, it's a drug. Bing, you know how your money's going up and shit, or you're getting messages. So
yeah,
I know when you posted that you went in Vegas.
Yeah, it's bing, bing, bing. It's dope, but. I want the spiritual beings, I want I want clarification. I want calmness, friends, because those other things, the money things, they're dope, you know what I'm saying? But that's just one thing again.
Well, dopamine is meant to be this thing that your brain lets off when you achieve something, like if you were hunting or whatever, like if we're, in cavemen and we're trying to like find food, we find the food, we get hit with dopamine that tells us we did the right thing and we're going to keep going. But what I think happens with like gambling and social media, drugs, like a lot of these things, it exploits the fact that you get dopamine from these things. And so really you're getting dopamine in the wrong way. And so it reinforces that you should keep doing this thing because you're addicted to the dopamine. And really the dopamine was only there to get you addicted to doing what keeps you surviving.
That's sad, huh?
It's sad. No, it really is.
It's crazy.
It's like virtual crack, huh?
Like once I realized
it is.
Once I realized that, I was like, I gotta get off of social media because it is just it's gambling.
And then how do we do that, guys? How do we get off social media? You gotta turn your phone on airplane sometimes, airplane mode. You hit that. You close your account sometimes.
Yeah.
Because really, you gotta save this up here, and even the people who made the iPhones, they literally will tell you like they don't let their kids play with it.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
So that means that this thing, another example why this is bad, even though we do everything on it is dope, is this. Remember how I was telling you the story about your water, right? How they do it with the TV too and with the phone, right? And they're like, and when those pictures come out, they're kind of ugly too, and that's because the TV, it has so many waves and it's telling lies to your vision too, right?
Yeah.
Frequencies.
Yes, so that frequency is an example of how science can read what's good for God and what's not, is that, dude, that's fucked up, because they know that those lies keep coming out of the TV. If good stuff was coming out the TV, I'm pretty sure the water would not have said that. But the water, there's water here, everything, so everything you say is coming out good, And I think Himoto is his name. Hatashi Himoto is the guy. I wish I would have bought the book, but if you ever want to look at it, it's about water, and it's about water and then the crystals that the water makes when you say something positive or negative. You can probably just type that on the Google bar.
Yeah, I seen it
This is kind of a side tangent, but like, man, water is like such an amazing thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know if people understand how important the structure of water, like the molecules in it, how important it is to the survival of life. Because essentially, like the way, like we all know that when you freeze water into ice, it expands. But most substances don't do that. When they freeze, when they get to their solid state, it shrinks.
Yeah. Why does water do that, huh?
But why does it do that? It's because what happens is when it freezes, it crystallizes, and the shape of the molecule is basically like you got oxygen and then you got hydrogen, and so it's at this angle, and basically when all of them crystallize, they form this hexagonal pattern, and so there's space between them, right? And so that actually, because when it's flowing with water, these molecules are just flowing around each other, so they're actually more tightly compacted.
Nice.
So then it arranges this way.
Yeah.
And what happens is when it's frozen, it's less dense, so it floats. And that is essentially what keeps the entire planet from not freezing over.
Wow.
When I understood that, I was like, holy shit.
Crazy.
Like,
that's crazy.
The function of that molecule is what creates life.
Yeah.
Just the shape of that.
And even,
I don't know. I mean, like
even in our bodies too. If you think about it.
Everything needs water. But if water didn't act the way all these other things did, there would be no life. And I think that's what's so crazy. And I mean that's super deep into the science, but like that's why I say, like, man, there's something divine about that.
But yeah,
you know what I mean?
It proves to me divine. That's
there's
what
something
I hear.
divine about that.
Yeah.
Because like it did not have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it's like almost, we don't know that rule, but that is a rule that God made. It's like, okay, if wherever I need to make this earth situation, I need the water to do that,
Yeah.
Because like that's super hard to. How do you do that?
How do you think of that?
We're thinking of how to solve it, but to make it, to make the concepts make sense to us.
It's so crazy, man. I mean, like, because if the shit froze and it was more dense, what happens is the ice sinks, and then the top of it freezes again, and it sinks, and then sooner or later,
the world wouldn't be.
Sooner or later, everything is frozen and no life can exist.
Right.
That's so crazy to me.
Right.
I mean,
But magically,
it floats and it saves all this up below it from freezing.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
That's very crazy.
I mean,
that's just the difference of like thermometer for God. He's like, Like,
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's it.
Exactly.
I mean,
So maybe he designs all the planets like that.
there's something crazy about that. I don't know. Something divine for sure.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have to be that way.
It didn't have to.
I mean, it's the same thing like with, like the number pi. It's the relationship between like the diameter and the.
So perfect, huh?
Yeah, it did not need to be that number, but if you understand the mathematics behind this, and for people who don't know, I studied math in college. I actually have a bachelor's degree in math. The number pi shows up in so many forms in all these different equations that we have that define like physics, and it did not need to do that. And the only reason it shows up there is because of that relationship. And it's like, if it didn't do that, so much stuff would happen outside of that. So it's like crazy to me.
Yeah.
Even the number 9, when you start saying the 9 and it goes back, just to even think about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So all these concepts, right? They're things Mayans understood or people before us, right? But they're all from God because they literally, like the Virgin Mary painting, same thing. It's like these things all make sense so beautifully, and to use them for evil is not gonna be popping.
No.
You think there's a significance of why the world was created? Have you ever thought about that?
I think it was just created. I think because I think there's not a why. I think that there's just a was, and this is what it is. Because the why would mean that there's a world where that didn't happen. Some people think of the world in string theory, right? Or they might think of multiple realities. And so maybe they think like, if I go this way, it's like that. Yes, you could kind of think like that as far as choices, right? Like if you make this choice, you're gonna go to hell or whatever, this bad way, and your life's not gonna be so good here on this earth or later, right? The same thing with string theory. People go this way and make this choice, and then they're a millionaire, and they make this choice and they're not a millionaire. It's literally like how you think of it, and there's a lot of concepts and words, but the concept is still the same. The concept is still, yes, there's different things, and choice is everything. Who gives us that choice though? I think that's from God, and that's also another concept. Like, you're talking about the ice floats perfectly because the hydrogen and how it situates. That choice is another thing, as far as like, it's so important to red pill, blue pill,
Yep.
Like literally they keep explaining in movies, like, you have a choice, like just choice. Like, that's crazy level of a concept. Like, it's like, that means everything. That means the difference between, this guy's a MIT scientist, and this one's like, not so blessed, it literally, like, because he made the right choices. But why don't they teach us how to make the right choices? They say, you just choose, but like, dude, so we got to go through all this like headache to figure out what's the right choices. There is some right choices and some wrong ones. But we don't want to be like, that's bad or that's good. We don't want to say everything's for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're giving us a significant reason for anything that happens in life.
Yeah, like you can't look down on this person if they're happy. You know what I mean? They could have all these great things in their head. Don't look down on them. Just like wonder why they're happy, and maybe you could be happy too. If you're not so happy, like, we almost have to borrow things from each other. You understand me? Like, let me wear those jeans or whatever. It kind of like, because we don't have it. We're all incomplete. You know what I mean? And we're literally like learning things to complete yourself, to maybe one day be the puzzle. But right now we're just puzzle pieces. But we're going to be the puzzle, the next level. You understand what I mean? You'll never be God, but you'll be like a little bit closer to that, And they say it. It ends and it's different. You don't have fear anymore. You don't have judgment. That's a crazy feeling. Like, the only thing how we could feel that is, you ever been in the 5D, right? Five dimensional? Well, when you meditate, you've been in 5 dimensional.
Yes.
You notice when you don't come out of it, but you come out of the meditation, you do not trip right off nothing.
You don't.
You could see someone murder someone in front of you, and you'll just watch
You're in a crazy peaceful, peaceful, but you're in like a one state.
One state. So that 5D, I think that's what God sees, but like 10D or 50D or whatever. But that's the closest thing we as humans can feel to that, other than doing something really good and feeling that way too. Like, there's ways to get to that 5D, but that 5D, when you do meditation, that's the closest thing I've ever felt to maybe how God can interpret things in his way of not just murdering everybody for everything, because we're pretty bad. Like, we be doing some crazy shit behind doors, you know? If you had the eye to watch everybody's secret shit, it's like, yo. But at the same time, we do a lot of good shit too. So we're really supposed to like acknowledge, you know, what we did, but fix it, you know, because through repentance, you can fix shit, you know? Or if you want to think of it like this, like every day is a new day, right? Let's just think every day is a new day. So it's now Tuesday. Forget about Monday. You know, that shouldn't have only a little to do with what you do for Tuesday and Wednesday. You know, that's already done. Yeah. The people already said sorry for you fucking up, or they already gave you your props. Now it's time to go get some more props and do it again. And that way, you keep painting every day. There's something to look forward to. When you don't believe in God, or you're an atheist, what's to look forward to if you're just like, it's all me? If you get tired and it's all me, because you will feel tired, you don't got no one to help you. So you got to pick yourself up when you're like HIV and really sick and say, it's all me. But like sometimes you need that help. So it is there. It is for everybody. I think it's made so that it can be there. But if you're super strong, then maybe you're really close and you don't need to, you know, and that's for you. And that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not you. I can only just see from what I think. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. This has been a crazy, really dope conversation.
Yeah, it's
man.
for real, man.
I really appreciate it.
It's inspiring too, man.
Yeah, it's super dope. I mean, I'm glad this is the topics I've been trying to get on.
And we're all different walks of life. Like, he's a math scientist. He's just smart in general, like super smart. Like me, I'm like a lot of different things too. So we literally are like, to get to understand each other on this concept and talk about God through the whole thing and how it all links. It just is just another example how it shows you that if you just pull from a source, like the source. Yeah. Some people call it the source. Some people call it God, Elohim, Jah, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. He's gonna be good, you know. And we're not on some Satan shit. We're not trying to confuse people. We're not even on some to diss you if you don't believe. Everyone will learn, you know, and nobody's research. Nobody's wrong, you know, and no one's even busting anyone for being wrong. It's just keep looking for it so you can have more hope for the next day. You know, I want everyone to think of every minute as a new one, you know. Like what did I say earlier? Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. You know, if someone even could trespass in your house, you let it go. Like, and that's cool. Because I don't want to have to go take into my own hands shit. That's crazy. And the law don't let you do that. You're going to have worse days in jail. So let's forgive people easier, you know what I'm saying? And let's forgive ourselves too.
Hell yeah.
And let's see change.
Yeah.
And let's see change. And let's big up change. Like, woo, oh, he fixed his shit up. Tight, you know? And give them props, you know? Don't just always be like, you know, these kids, you're bad or you're this or that. It's like, be above them like how we were in the 5D. Being able to look at that like as if you have ultimate love for even when they fuck up. Because people fuck up on you all the time, but you got to forgive your trespasses. That's what God would do, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to be close to that, that's a good example. No one wants to get yelled at and all this shit. And if you really want to hear God yell at you, that shit's going to hurt. Like, that's what hell and all that is. You get what I mean? That's how he yells at you. Or he makes your examples on this earth look bad. In a state of rush, you're dropping your keys, you get into a car accident, you start hating on this person and people start hating on you. That's what we're talking about as far as when they say hell on earth is like, is that. So if you want hell here too, then you can just do those things. You know?
Dope.
Unless they make you feel good, like you like to, like there's some people that just love like pain and all that shit. Like, do it, you know, like there's a whole culture about that, you know? And I think that you should do it, but eventually, you're going to get tired out and you're going to come to the point of where, or you should hope that you come to the point of where, you know, you don't want to do that shit, you know?
Yeah.
It just sucks. Nah, man. It's like, nah. You want, woo! Woo! You know, why am I so woo? You know?
Hell yeah. Wow. Dope, man. So, I think our camera's about to die. So you got any last things to say? Where can people find you?
You know what? You can find me. I've got a TikTok. You know, I'm Mr. Carswell on TikTok. Yeah. Mr. Carswell with 2 L's. I'm on Instagram under Bboy Vietnam, and then I think I even have like a rapping page. It's Nom
You got like
Flow.
SoundCloud?
Yeah. SoundCloud, man. Go check them out.
I'm
It's
under
dope.
there. Nom Flow or Nom Flows under SoundCloud. If you want to hear me get dark, go to Nom Flow. If you want to see me get light, go to Nom Flows. But the thing with the light and the dark is, when I'm writing dark, I'm not really being real. That's my Edgar Allan Poe side. I have a side where I'm like a poet where
Yeah, that's part of art.
It is.
I delve into that, but that's the Nom Flow. That's not real stuff. That's like
I mean, it's the artistic interpretation. Like you're
Expression.
putting yourself
Yeah.
into this
You're
perspective
interpreting.
and going, okay, what does it look like in this? You know,
And it's healing.
There's a Vietnam and then there's a human.
right.
I mean,
And
it's your art.
even everybody here got a AI. They have you have a SoundCloud. You have a Facebook. Those are all different avatars of you. So we have now split ourselves into 8 people. Remember in the 80s we weren't that. We were only 2 people. You got who you are on the block and who you are with your family, right? And who you are at school, 3 people. We are now all 8 people. If you have a phone, you know. So literally, like you have
That's a trip.
So throw your phone away and
throw
just
it
be
away.
you.
Just be you. Yeah.
Just be you.
That's real.
Hell yeah. Well, dope, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Noise of the Broke Boys, please follow us on all the platforms. What are we on?
We're on Instagram, Apple.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, obviously.
All social medias.
All social
Is
media.
it all the same too? Like you just write in the same?
Yeah, Noise of the Broke.
Yeah.
At Noise of the Broke B-Boys.
Noise of the Broke Boys on basically any
All
audio
platforms.
platform, and then on YouTube, Instagram. I just made a
Twitter,
TikTok. I don't know
TikTok.
how to use TikTok though.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
We're getting there. We're
I
learning.
I don't know
We're
what I'm
growing.
doing, but yo, follow us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry this show sucks. Woo!
Wow.
Peace.